Ready? Beautiful. Yep.
Okay, hello everyone, welcome to my oral defense. I am Qin Youren, a master's student from Global Political Economy, and I'll present you with my independent research supervised by Dr. Peter Beattie, Living in Hong Kong, Listening to the Mainland, an investigation into information practices and ideology of new mainland Chinese immigrants in Hong Kong. Here is our agenda. I'll not go into it in detail, and let's start with the introduction. So first, why am I interested in people's information practices? So first, information is very important in the formation of people's political attitudes. First, we can get information as facts, so that based on these facts, we can use our logical reasoning to form our political attitude. And also, information can be direct opinions. Our political attitude or opinion can be copied directly from commentators and media, etc. So this phenomenon is pointed out by Canvas in his 1964 article about people's belief system. And moreover, nowadays people's information practices are increasingly complex and contingent. So in the past, we only have traditional media, but now we also have social media and we have the internet where we can deliberately search for some information. So the increasing complexity and contingency of people's information practices make it more important to examine people's information practices in detail. And why am I interested in immigrants? Because there is a unique pattern of immigrants' information practices. They have transnational connections to both their host country information environment and their home country information environment. So especially for immigrants who come from a heavily censored information environment like mainland China, so their home country's information environment will be very different from their host countries where there is a relatively free information environment. So here are the research gaps. So far, there are plenty of research investigating media and immigrants' acculturalization and resocialization process. And here are some examples. And but there are few studies about immigrants' detailed information practices, like categorize them into traditional media, social media, and search, etc., and investigate in detail. So as far as I know, there is only this research, but they focus on people's daily life, like how do immigrants get information about restaurants, transportation, etc. So far there is few studies on the detailed political information practices and political resocialization process of immigrants, and let alone immigrants who come from a heavily censored information environment. So our study will seek to fill this research gap, and let's talk a little bit about new mainland Chinese immigrants in Hong Kong. First, who are they? They are a group of people come from a heavily censored information environment to a relatively free information environment. There are around 3,000 of them getting Hong Kong permanent resident status every year, and over 30,000 of mainland Chinese students come to Hong Kong to study every year. So what's the importance of studying this group of people? First, for Hong Kong, as many of them will become Hong Kong permanent residents eventually, so their ideology will also influence the ideological spectrum of Hong Kong. And for new mainland Chinese immigrants, some of them may go back to mainland China after their study, but they have at least 1 year to be exposed in the free information environment and get some information which they cannot reach back when they are in mainland China. So for them, our study may provide a new understanding of them, and maybe it will provoke further studies on how to facilitate their political localization by facilitating their information practice change. Before I start talking about my research, I want to further introduce you to this research. This is a research done by 3 local scholars. They found that mainland Chinese immigrants in Hong Kong tend to give more support to the status quo, the establishment, and give less support to the pro-democracy oppositions compared with Hong Kong local people. So they also found that exposure to political information may not change the political attitudes of mainland Chinese immigrants in Hong Kong. So I doubt this result very much because previous studies do have illustrated that the exposure to host country media can facilitate people's political localization. So I think a major weakness of their study is that they only examined the total exposure to political information without investigating or tracing back to the origins of information. Like it's common for immigrants to use host country media and home country media. So if they're always using home country media, then their political attitude will not change even if they have come to their host